You're explaining to me something.
Hey, do you want to know how to install Kali Linux as a virtual machine? Did you know Kali is a specialized Linux operating system designed for penetration testing and security research?
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
so
cool.
today I'm going to show you how to install Kali Virtual Machine along with Metasploitable 2 and 3, and then we're going to web crawl through Metasploitable 2 using some of Kali's tools, which are Dirb, Feroxbuster, and Skipfish.
Let's do it.
All right, so the first thing you want to do is get some of the ISO images and the different images for our virtual machines. So here I have some links which I will add in the description on where to download these virtual machines. I also have them set up here. So the first thing you want to go to is the Kali website. And here, if you click on install our images, it will take you to the latest Kali image. And I'm going to choose 64-bit along with, yep, just selecting this first one. While we're waiting for that to install, there's also the Metasploitable 2 website where that you can get on SourceForce, and if you just go here, you can click download and get that image. And for Metasploitable 2, 3, which is also in the description, if you go to this link here and then click on files, you can click on this OVA file and it should download onto your computer. Now that we have those downloaded, we can go ahead and get them set up on our virtual machine. If you're interested in learning more about Metasploitable 2, there is also this exploitability guide. So if you want to look deeper into it after this video, I would recommend that. And then also Metasploitable 3 has a wiki page. All right, so let's go ahead and get our virtual machines set up. Okay, so you want to make sure you take those downloaded files and put them in a place that you can locate later. For me, it's going to be in my C drive virtual machines. And then I have the latest Kali instance here, ISO. And then the Metasploitable files, I moved them here. So with Metasploitable 2, you also want to just extract it out so you can use the VMDK. So before you can use these virtual machines, you need to install something that can host your virtual machine. So we're going to do that with VirtualBox. And I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can find it. Once you get to this web page, you just go ahead and click download and then select the computer that you're going to be using. Make sure to get VirtualBox installed. Once you have it installed, you'll get a new window that looks something like this for your VirtualBox manager. And this is the area where we're going to be managing and creating new virtual machines. So you can already see I have a few here for Ubuntu and Kali and some other stuff. All right, so let's create the Kali image first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the new button here, Kali VM demo 2024.3. I'm going to keep it in the default folder, and then I'm going to load the ISO image that we installed from earlier. So go and find the Kali ISO image that you downloaded and then open it. And for this, we can set it to Linux. I like to do Debian 64-bit. Let's check all this other stuff. So you can set the base memory. I'm going to set that to 8,192 and the amount of processors to 4. And then for the hard disk, I'll set that to, let's just do 50 gigabytes. Okay, go ahead, click finish. And when you start it up, it should start the initial process to install the virtual machine. All right, so when you get to this screen, you want to select the graphical install option. Go ahead and click enter on that. And then here we're gonna set the language, state, country, and keyboard mapping. All right, for the host name, you can probably leave it as default or whatever you want to name it to. And then this, I usually just leave that blank here. And then the new user, so this will be your username that you log in with. You can make it whatever you want, like Kali or something else, like a useful username. I'm just going to leave it like this. And username for the account. And then you set the password here. And let it run the install. Okay, go ahead and configure the clock. And then we're going to choose use entire disk here. First option, all files in one partition. And yep, everything looks good. Finish partitioning and write changes to disk. And right here, you want to select yes. All right, here I'm going to select GNOME. And then let's go ahead and let it finish installing. All right, for this, we're just going to choose the first option and it should start installing the software. This might take a little bit of time. All right, for this, we want to choose yes for Grub bootloader. And select this one down here for the dev SDA. It looks like the installation was complete. Let's go ahead and click continue. And I believe this system's gonna power down and restart up. So when we get back to this screen here, we can go ahead and click on the first option. And it should start to boot up soon here. All right, and now you should be able to log in with your username and password. Cool. Yeah, so it looks like the installation was successful. And if I click right here, not right here, click here, we can look at what web applications are available or different tools are available on Kali. Some pretty cool ones here for password attacks, Hydra, Hashcat, John the Ripper. The ones we're going to be looking into are more on web application analysis. So there's Skipfish, and I don't see Dirb on here, but I believe it's in this application. Let's test this out. All right, so that looks like it's available. Okay, so now we got Kali installed. Let's go ahead and get some targets that we can practice some penetration testing on. So let's go ahead and minimize the Kali box and then go back to virtual machine here. Let's go ahead and select a new instance, and this one I'm going to name Meta 2, Meta S2, and then we're not going to select an ISO image because it's not an ISO image. We're going to set this to Linux, Ubuntu, and a 32, right? Linux, Ubuntu, or let's see. Let's just set it to a other Linux, 32. And then you want to select this hard disk option down here and use an existing virtual hard disk file. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and search for that file. It's going to open up this module, and then I'm going to click on this add. I'm going to go back to where I have the virtual boxes. And then select this vmdk file wherever you stored the Metasploitable to. Okay, and then we're going to choose that file, and it's going to be 8 gigabytes here. And go ahead and click on finish. Now this Metasploitable 2 should be available. Let's go ahead and start this up and see if it boots up. Okay, so now we have Metasploitable up and running. What we need to do is log in, and the login is msfadmin. Say that again, it's going to be msfadmin. And same for the password. The password will be msfadmin. After that, you should be able to see the IP for your instance using ifconfig. But before we start that, what we should do is create a NAT network for our instances to connect to. So go to File, Tools, Network Manager, and then go into Create. So there's a bunch of tabs here, but you want to choose NAT network, and then go click on Create, and it'll create you a new NAT network. So make sure all your instances are off, and then go to the network of that instance and then select the NAT network in the dropdown. And then the name is the NAT network that you created. Do the same thing for Metasploitable 2. We're going to go in the network and then change it to NAT network. Same network as the Kali one. And let's go ahead and boot it up. So I'm going to get Kali started and Metasploitable 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and log back into Metasploitable and then run ifconfig to see where our IP address is. This is going to show sensitive information. Go back to Kali and log in with your password. Okay, once we are up, we should be able to open the Metasploitable 2 instance here. So I'm going to go to that IP address I got from the ifconfig 2.4, and success, we got Metasploitable 2 up and running. Nice. Next, what we can do is add Metasploitable 3, and we do that through import applications. So make sure local file system selected, and then go to where you downloaded Metasploitable 3. Select the OVA file and select finish. It'll take some time to import the application, but once it's running, you should see an instance of it here, and you should be able to just start it up. The login is going to be vagrant and the password the same as well. And then we're going to use ifconfig to get the IP address for this. And when we check back on Kali, it looks like we can connect to both Metasploitable 2 and Metasploitable 3. Now that we got that all set up, let's go ahead and do some web crawling. And the first thing I'm going to do is Dirbbuster. I think that's what you call it. So man dirb. And here we'll have the instructions on different arguments you can add. If you want to look into it more, like you can add the proxy, you can add cookies, and you can also add a username and password for a login. For now, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to do Dirb and then the Metasploitable 2 instance. Sorry, I got to write the right name. And now it's uploading. And so the nice thing that it's doing is it's showing us all the directories that it found on the website. So these are like good places we could probably look into and see if we find anything interesting. And it also kind of gives us a little bit of information about the server as well. You can look more through these websites, which I will add in the description. The next thing we want to add is Feroxbuster. And what you want to do is go directly to their GitHub page. They have a command for Kali on how to install it directly into Kali. So it's going to be this sudo update and sudo apt install Feroxbuster. So go ahead and add that in and run it. We can also install the sec lists. If you search on sec lists, this first sec list on GitHub seems to work out pretty well. I'll also add the link to this in the description. But down here we can find discovery, web content, and then there's a common.txt file that I'm going to run with our web crawler here. I'll place that in a place that I can get to easily. So we're going to move it to the desktop. Okay, and yeah, put it on the desktop. We can see the file here. It has a bunch of really common stuff related to web directories. It's things we might discover while we're web crawling. Now we got that, we can go ahead and enter in the command for the Feroxbuster. I'm going to target the Metasploitable instance, and then we want to get the location of where we saved that word list. Okay, so it's going to run similar to Dirb and basically look through directories and let you know if it finds anything interesting. So it lets you like definitely give you a head start on where to look at and what might be available. Sometimes you might find like sensitive things like directories that have plain passwords in them. You might also find like the robots txt file and other things as well. Yeah. Now let's look into Skipfish. I'm going to open up the manual for that. And Skipfish is going to be similar to the previous two tools, but the cool thing about it is it generates a nice report for you to look at. And here are a bunch of commands that you can do with Skipfish. It's similar to the other commands that are available with the other two tools. We're gonna just keep it simple though and just do a regular Skipfish command. We're gonna do the output file directory. So this is important. You want to make a directory that doesn't exist. So I'm going to do home, desktop, metas2, and then the target website that we want to scan. And yeah, Skipfish will just randomly go into places apparently and look for vulnerabilities. Currently we have 5 medium and 8 low vulnerabilities. I'm going to come back to this and see if it finds anything else. All right, so I let 5 minutes pass and it looks like we found 143 medium vulnerabilities and it's still climbing, 24 low ones. I'm gonna let this run for a little bit longer. 180 looks pretty good, so I'll just go ahead and stop it there, generate the report. If we open up the file location and find the index.html, this is the report that Skipfish will generate for us, and it'll show us some cool information, something that might help us figure out an issue with the website. So it shows us some interesting messages, different risks that it found. Here's some cross-site scripting. I think I could probably try one of these, but yeah, apparently all these pages might have cross-site scripting issues with them. And yeah, let's see what else we got here. I suppose I could try and do one of these cross-site scripting ones. Might be easy. Cool. Yeah, so Skipfish was able to find that page for us and we didn't have to go out and hunt for it, which is nice. Anyways, those are all the commands that you can run to do some web crawling on web pages. I hope you like the channel.